Right now, it's a big joke about replacing all the coders with the AI, and obviously, it wouldn't be that hard to swap out a cashier at your local restaurant for a talking toaster that can just as easily dispense the change as it needs to. But oftentimes, mainly probably because of the joking attitude that gets instantly, automatically taken on by many people, we often fail to properly and critically think about what is going to happen when we start actually substituting real professionals and real power players with artificial intelligence. I mean, can it even be said that a search engine can just replace a doctor?
Now, I can't speak to the particulars of a medical career or what exactly is deemed as the real challenging aspect of being a doctor. But according to Microsoft, in particular, what their AI has been able to do is effectively compound on its own effectiveness with diagnosing and prescribing treatments. Now, yet again, I can't speak to how hard it is to diagnose someone, but in my feeble, naive brain, I have to imagine that's one of the more challenging aspects of medicine in general. Oftentimes, even the best doctors and even the best nurses can get it completely wrong, and a misdiagnosis can be more dangerous than the ailment it was to begin with, you know? It doesn't take much to screw up someone's health. But with that in mind, are we willing and ready to start accepting a diagnosis from a talking toaster?
Now, as easy as it is to bash the AI systems, just automatically bandwagon on the popular and mainstream side of this political equation, as it were, need I remind you that not too long ago, not too long ago at all, in fact, in the recent memory of the world at large, there were quite a few, not just one or two extreme cases, but in fact quite many reports of people doing something along the lines of going onto WebMD.com and fully diagnosing themselves based on an internet blurb that they had read in an afternoon. Now, whether or not you subscribe to the general practical usefulness of WebMD, it's a different conversation for a different time. But now imagine a WebMD that thinks and talks for itself and does this very thing for you, diagnoses you, tells you what's wrong with you. Oh, you've come in today and you have a fit of coughing and you felt raspiness in the back of your neck and you've been experiencing this for 8 to 9 months. Oh. It's very interesting to think that we can be so quickly adverse to something, repulsed and disgusted by the thought of it. How dare you insinuate that I would listen to a talking toaster of all things, how dare you? But these exact same people are the same people who are going on to WebMD and reading up all the symptoms and signs of schizophrenia, and now suddenly they have dissociative identity disorder, and you're talking to their Monday personality, but don't worry, their Wednesday personality is coming up next week.
But let's also consider another attack vector, if you will, for a moment. What if your husband, your wife, what if your significant other suddenly decides to have openly and bombastic, wild sex orgies all over the place, all the time, just here and there, completely cheating on you left and right, with no regard for your thoughts or your feelings on the matter. Well, obviously, to say the least, you're going to be emotionally distraught. But not just emotionally distraught. You need to find a good lawyer. You need to start getting the divorce in order. So what if instead of seeking out a $200 an hour human who may or may not tell you what you want to hear and may or may not lead you down the path to the least resistance and best reward for you at the end, what if instead you went to a Google search and you said, here's my problem. My significant other is sleeping around with everybody. I need to divorce them. I'm sick and tired of them. What do I do? And the Google search told you and immediately sent you and emailed you the forms that you needed to fill out in order to file and get the process rolling. Let's flip it again. Imagine you're starting a business. Imagine you're starting a business. And, well, what does every good business owner know? Every good business needs a good website. That's true. So, what if instead of emailing me and me demanding $80 an hour and telling you that I'll probably have your website up and running within 2 to 3 weeks, give or take. What if instead you went to a Google search? And what if you punched in that Google search and said, hi Google, I've got a brand new business. I got a business where we shine bowling balls. And in my bowling ball shining business, well, every good business needs a website. So, Google, I need you to make me a bowling ball shining website. And it whips it up for $5. $5 in 2 to 3 hours. Sounds like a pretty good bargain, doesn't it? Maybe offloading some of this expert work onto the AI, maybe it's not all bad. So today's discussion question is on a more light note, if you will. We've been hitting some heavy topics recently, and I want to scale it back just a hair. Because obviously at the end of the day, expert choice is what matters most to the consumer, to the individual, to you, the person. Do I want to talk to a talking toaster? Maybe it's exponentially faster. Maybe it's exponentially cheaper to do. But maybe the quality of the results I receive are exponentially downgraded. And of course, there's always the philosophical bit of it. Do I really want the entire economy automated away? Or would I prefer hiring human hands to get the job done? Because even if the outcome is exactly the same, 1 for 1, there's just something to having human hands involved in creating something, you know? So, where do you lie? Are you willing to completely forego all amenities of organic origin in order to push progress forward? Or do you believe in the power of human hands?